everyone, and welcome to this week's live stream. My friend is here again, and we're going to be collaborating a little bit on There Is No Escape 2 by Retrowave Studios, a game that we're both helping work on. And he's in the background there. Yeah. And even though my PNG tuber is designed just for art tasks, I'm gonna leave it on this time. Might as well. And even though it'll probably pick up West's voice too, whatever. But
yeah, him and I are basically gonna share the same persona today.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually feels awkward now. I might actually move the avatar off screen again.
Okay.
Yeah, I really need to, if we're going to keep doing this, I need to set up, something, personas. Yeah, two PNG tubers for us, and make yours a raccoon or something. But,
yeah.
But that would also require two different microphones, potentially, if we wanted them to actually talk and stuff. But whatever. Off to a great start so far. But anyway, as you guys can see, and as I literally just said, I'm going to be working on There's No Escape 2. There's some art-related tasks in the game that I'm going to be working on, and West is ordering McDonald's and doing some level design stuff on his laptop in the background, so...
But mostly ordering McDonald's.
Yeah.
Might end up taking the whole stream at this rate.
Yeah. Yeah. But, anyway, I think what I was going to work on first is just try to set up the depth of field effect, because I noticed Ori and the Blind Forest and also a lot of other really high quality 2D platformer games have a depth of field effect. So I'm gonna just be trying to set that up mostly. And so I'll just start on that. Using the best looking level in the whole game so far as a basis for it. So just add post-processing, depth of field here, enable it on Gaussian mode, or Gaussian, however that's pronounced. Just make the start far enough away. Gosh, that's 1,000 meters away. That can't be right. I wonder what that metric even is. What is it measuring in? Because it's definitely not meters if it's saying that the player's 1,000 meters away. Because they're not. But let's see. The background layers of this cave parallax need to be relatively blurry. So I'm gonna actually see background far and background. Okay, background far and background mid are the layers those are on. Let me actually just select the cave layers and just move them back in 3D space, and then I'll probably use my fake parallax thing in addition to the real parallax to kind of take care of that a bit. So annoying though. Why does it immediately go from 0 to 100 as soon as it crosses the 1,000 meter mark? That doesn't seem right. Maybe it's a thing having to do with the order of the effects or something? Because maybe if I just turn off start and end, it'll have more reasonable values, maybe? Like, no. Weird. I don't want to adjust the bloom settings because I have those dialed in pretty well with what I want. I should probably turn off a lot of these extra effects too because I don't even use really any of them except the bloom. So.
And you don't want to adjust the boom settings either, otherwise Unity might explode.
Yeah. Just gonna remove all this extra stuff that it doesn't need. Because I don't think I'm using really any of it except for bloom. So. And that might actually be part of what's messing with the depth of field effect, potentially. Is that I have all these default settings overriding it or something. Adjustments, color lookup, I'm probably not using those. Vignette, yeah, I'm definitely using vignette and bloom, so I need to keep those. Motion blur, I'll keep that, because even though it's not immediately apparent, I think there are instances where it actually is visible. Just weird that the depth of field effect isn't working properly. Because it like immediately when it crosses from 999 units into 1,000 units is when it suddenly changes. And that doesn't seem correct. Like, I think that's has something to do with the depth pass of the shaders I'm using for most of these sprites, potentially. So that might actually, because I'm using a custom shader graph for basically all of this, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see. I might go into the shader graph and make sure it's using 3D depth for all that, because that's probably the problem.
What's a shader graph?
It's just a shader, but with a more artist-friendly way of coding it. I'll show you in just a sec as soon as I find the folder with it's in there.
Oh, is that the thing that you were showing me earlier, where you could adjust the shape? Something?
No.
Because I know one of the things you have on the to-do list is like redoing the water.
Yeah.
Effects to do
So
that.
this is the shader graph here. Basically, it's this is the shader I have most of the sprites in the game using to render with, and I just need to make sure that the depth is actually writing correctly. I'm going to force depth right and make the depth test. I don't know what any of these settings really mean. Like, I know what they mean. Like, L equal just means less than or equal, but I'm not sure in the context of a depth pass what that actually means. I might have to look that up at some point, but sort 3D as 2D compatible is checked. I think I want that checked, but yeah, that seems like good settings, but it's weird because the DOF effect just doesn't work well with that at all. even though I moved the parallax layers really far back, it like immediately within one, like 0.01 float value of 1,000 is when it just suddenly snaps, and I'm not really sure why that. I guess I could change this to bokeh mode instead of Gaussian mode and see if that makes any difference, but I mean it does, but not favorably. Try to figure this out somehow, because we definitely need the DOF effect in the game, because that's just an extra layer of polish that really just brings everything together.
Yeah.
As far as making it really look cinematic and stuff. So I need to figure this out eventually. Why the depth just doesn't work, I am not sure though. Maybe it's a setting on the main camera that somehow the depth is wrong. Render pipeline asset. That might be a hint that I need to pay attention to. This is the world's most boring stream so far. But let's see, graphics. Where's the graphics? Here's the graphics. Universal RP asset is what we're using. So I'll just check depth texture on for that, because we probably need that. And then opaque texture, what's that? If enabled, the pipeline will copy the screen to texture after opaque objects are drawn. For transparent object, this can be bound in shaders as camera opaque texture. Might as well turn that on. It sounds useful for other effects later. And then the opaque downsampling, I don't know what that is. I'll just leave it at default. When disabled, Universal Render Pipeline removes all-terrain whole shader variants when you build for the Unity player. This decreases build time, but also sounds like it sucks, so we don't want to enable that. And then post-processing, let's see. Grading mode. High dynamic range color grading mode works. Platforms that support floating point textures, so that's all of them, I think. Or I'll just leave it at default, actually, probably a better idea. Enabled post-processing outputs alpha channel if available. Alpha channels results may vary depending on the effect. Screen space, lens flare, volume update mode. Well, I think I made some changes that might affect it for the better, but it's hard to say right off the bat without going back into the game and seeing if the DOF works now. Well, it definitely is behaving better than it was, because now instead of 1,000, it's doing that thing at 10. And actually, I'm noticing now it actually works way better, because if I set it to exactly 10, the player and foreground are in focus, but the background is blurred. So that's exactly what I want, actually. So,
Nice.
So I'll just set that to 30 and maybe make this from 10 to like 15.
Being a lot better.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I'm noticing when the player goes in front of a transparent area, though, it's still having an issue where it gets blurred for some reason. But I'm thinking the reason for that is probably just that the Tyne 1 player in this level is using the wrong material for its sprite. So that's probably pretty easy to fix. I just need to go into the prefab for the player and like make sure it's using the right shader. Prefabs, players, Tyne 1 player. Let's see what kind of sprite you're using.
Oh. Hey, Swift.
Oh, hi.
Fox.
Yeah, I just noticed him join the stream. What's up, man? Glad you're here. We're just we're just developing There's No Escape 2, and is this the cube one? I mean, there are cubes, but I don't think that's what you're referring to. But this is just the sequel to There's No Escape by Retrowave Studios, and we're just working on that. Lost my train of thought. What was I doing here? Oh, yeah, I thought so. This is using the wrong shader, so. Trying to sprite. Wait. Sprite lit.
Yeah, I'm basically just here to make sure Tony keeps, or I guess Blue keeps track of his chat.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And also order food, which is taking forever at the moment.
Yeah. Glow sprite. And then to sprite. Hopefully what I just did with the sprite actually fixes the depth issue, because I think that was the problem, but only one way to really find out. Yeah, it looks like it fixed it. So now now the player completely disappears when he moves left for some weird reason. But not the glowy part, just the actual sprite, and at that it only does it when he moves left. So I'm wondering,
for a second it looked like
I don't even understand that.
Something.
The heck? I mean, it definitely has to do with how Corgi Engine, I think, scales the sprites. But hold on, let me see what's going on here. This is a little screwy. Okay, so the scale does get set to negative when the player moves left. That definitely is the problem, because when it gets set to negative X scale, it's effectively rotating it, and we're probably looking at the back face when that happens, and that culls it. But I never noticed that issue before, and I'm not sure why it happens. Shouldn't be too hard to fix, though, I would imagine.
Famous last words.
It'll be fine. Let's see. Spray unlit, blending mode, alpha. Hold on. Actually, depth right, force enabled. Depth right, force enabled. I need to make sure the unlit sprite is actually writing the depth also. Or actually, I should just check to make sure it even needs to be force enabled, because setting it to auto is probably better, but it just depends on if this depth of field effect relies on something that it might automatically set to a wrong value. So it looks like that doesn't have to do with it, but hold on. I don't want Corgi Engine scaling the player visuals here, so I need to Need to change a setting somewhere to make sure that that the player doesn't get scaled along the x-axis negatively whenever they move left, because that's not correct. Model flip value. I'm just gonna change this to 1 instead of -1, because and I'm just gonna untick flip model on direction change, because that's causing a lot of issues for us. Because I have like a custom coded animation for this player character anyway, so I don't want Corgi Engine handling it. Yep, that fixed everything. As far as I can tell, when I move left, I'm not turning invisible anymore, so cool. So now I've successfully implemented DOF in exactly 1 level. Now I need to fix it everywhere else too, as far as I'm aware. Although actually, hold on.
Pretty easily for some of the other ones.
Yeah, because what I'm realizing is I actually haven't moved the background layers like back that far like I originally planned to, so I might not even need to do any updates in the other levels to account for like the compensation I was originally going to set up for that. So I think I just got DOF effects for free in basically all the levels here, which is pretty good. I'm just gonna actually go ahead and play through them all that we have so far, just to see if it looks bad in any of the levels. It probably doesn't, but I'll see if any adjustments are necessary. Because on some of these levels, I don't even want the DOF effect to necessarily show up. Like this level, it won't look good to have the far background blurred necessarily. So it's good it doesn't show up here. And so it looks like all these levels are going to be fine. Because I think these all have the same like post-processing effects applied, but this feels very much Portal inspired. Yes, it definitely is Portal 2 inspired. We're not even gonna hide the fact that Time 2's entire setting is very Portal inspired. However, we are gonna be doing some more interesting lore stuff in universe that Portal never did. So we're also taking it in some of our own directions too. But yeah, in these early development stages, and especially these remakes of the first game's levels, it's very much just the Portal 2 aesthetic, pretty much. So, as I'm looking at these backgrounds, it almost looks like the post-processing isn't enabled on a lot of these, because I wasn't noticing bloom effects on a lot of the lighting in those previous levels. So I might need to actually double check that. Oh, also, if anyone's wondering why I sound like I have a cold and a sore throat, that's because I literally do. But yeah, these levels are looking good. I just need to make sure the post-processing is actually enabled in them, because it kind of sort of looks like it's not. So, yeah, sure enough, Time level 1 doesn't even have the post-processing prefab in there at all. So time to add it to all of the levels that it's currently missing in. Yay. Manually, because I don't have it built into my fixer script thing yet. So that's... Level 0 has it. Level 1 has it. Cool. Level 2 apparently has it too, even though it didn't look like it was active. Okay, so they do actually have it. Huh. It just didn't seem like it was active. Maybe it's just because the lighting didn't make it as apparent or something. Yeah, all of the effects are visible though. Maybe it's just the way I did the art in some of these levels. The lighting doesn't glow as much for some reason. Might have to figure out why that's happening at a later point, but I forgot what level I was on when I was just testing it. Oh yeah, I think I was on level 3 here, or at least close to level 3. I'm actually starting to wonder if I should have like a depth of field effect. Oh, I gotta go now. I have a project I am working on. It was nice to see your game development work though. Yeah, I'm glad you could make it, even if only for a few minutes. Thanks for joining the stream. I know you're probably already AFK now, but I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah, see you, Swift Blue.
Yep. He'll probably watch the rest of the recording later, I would guess. Yep, until next time. Yep, he just left. This is actually one of my favorite levels that I've done in Art Pass 4. It's kind of the darker, like the power's out on this level kind of look. And then it's immediately followed by a really bright level.
Every time I see you do a coyote jump, it makes me wish that we had double jumping enabled in the game.
Yeah, I mean...
Because, we kind of already do with that, whenever I see that.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, it almost looks like a double jump because we've been almost a little overly generous with how much of a coyote jump we gave this guy.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the Time 1 player doesn't even have a coyote jump in the original engine, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
But for the Time 2 player, we might consider... Like, maybe we should add some kind of double jump ability at some point. I might have to ask Shadow Fox about that. But...
maybe as like an optional upgrade or...
Yeah.
Get later on.
Yeah, because we're gonna have upgrades to some degree, I think. I don't remember what all of them are gonna be.
Yeah.
I know there's gonna be one upgrade potentially where, gosh dang it, where the player can actually swim, even though they initially get destroyed by water. There'll be like a waterproofing upgrade that lets them swim in water. Or at least platform through water like it's not there. Because I'm lazy and don't want to code water physics. But I know we're going to have that, and I know, like, some kind of weapon to shoot enemies might be on the books as well, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't remember exactly what all of Shadow Fox's ideas were. I just feel like those were a couple of them, maybe, but I could be wrong about the projectile thing.
Hopefully it doesn't look like that one DLC level I made that looks like a gun.
Yeah.
Although that'd be kind of funny if we made like a texture or something that's just like a overview or something of, of that particular map.
Yeah. And like literally that's the sprite for the weapon. It's just a mini map of that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy,
It's funny that I'm kind of in a way spoiling the entirety of like the Time 1 campaign and the fact that it's included in Time 2. But that's what happens when you don't make an NDA and make us sign the NDA. Shadow Fox. Things get leaked and the surprise is gone. But hint hint. But I did notice the DOF effect was kind of making the security camera blurry earlier in the level here, so I might need to look into that. But and I need to implement my fake parallax on this test chamber wall thing so that you're not seeing past the edge of the level on the right there. So that's probably the next thing I'm gonna do after I've spoiled the entire Time 1 remake campaign in this test. Plus, I'm just having fun. The movement feels a lot nicer in Time 2's engine, aka Unity and Cordy engine, than Time 1's engine, which is just Click Team.
Now I'm going to be working on one of Time 2's DLC levels.
Yeah.
Because that's my sort of task list.
Yeah.
To do that. So,
Yep.
among other little things.
Yeah. Yeah, you have like 3 things to do on this project, and I have 50.
Yeah.
But we're a team nonetheless. I'll just keep telling myself that to negate the burnout that I'm already starting to feel. Of course, I say all this just in jest, just for those who are new to this channel or whatever and aren't familiar with my sense of humor. Just want to disclaim that Retrowave Studios is not putting us under crunch or anything. We're good friends with the lead developer, so it's all cool. I'm not friends with this level, though. I'm really bad at jumping some of these jumps. There we go. This loading screen is so crappy looking. I need to put some more finalized art in place for that. Dang it. Yeah, if it wasn't for the overly generous coyote jump, I probably couldn't even beat any of these levels half the time. It's like a lot of the time I'm like about to land on a spike, but then I press jump in midair, and that's what lets me beat these levels. I'm kind of doing the developer's speed run through these levels right now anyway, so it's kinda... I'm sure actual speedrunners are gonna find lots and lots of methods to like get past the entire game in 3 seconds, because that's kind of their thing, but I'm noticing as I'm dying repeatedly on these spikes that the spark particles aren't spawning here for some reason. Because there's supposed to be a really nice particle effect that spawns there, but it's not spawning for some reason. And I just wonder if that's like a incorrect configuration in the level or something currently. Because, let's see, this was Time 1 level 13. Let me check that. Like, I don't think it was doing that on any of the other levels either, come to think of it, even though it's supposed to. So let me see how this is all set up. The Corgi Manager spawns the Time 1 player, which is built into this prefab, and this prefab has a death feedback. Let's see, is the death feedback configured? Yes, it instantiates the death particles at the feedback position, applying rotation and scale all the while. So that all looks correct. And it's definitely playing this feedback because I hear the death sound effect, but the death particles aren't showing up for whatever reason. I almost wonder if it's a problem with the death particles, because they might be malconfigured here. Oh yeah, it looks like they are. They're like spawning at some weird coordinate here, so I'll just apply the transform there and see if that fixes the problem. And nope, doesn't look like it fixed anything. What is going on here? Let me take a look in the hierarchy when I'm dying to see if it's even spawning those in. As it really should be, but... Oh, wait. I think I might know another potential reason. I just die a bunch of times here and... Interesting. So it is actually instantiating the death particles, but... And they are spawning seemingly at the right position, too, with my auto-destroy script on them correctly configured to destroy after 5 seconds. But the death particle that is spawning doesn't have the particle system attached to it for some reason, and I think that's the problem. But why it's not instantiating the actual particle system component, I have no idea. Because that is the problem. Like it's spawning the death particles, but then when it does that, none of the child objects are spawning for some reason. So I need to figure out what's going on there, because I think in the developer test scene, the death effect works correctly on the Time 2 player, and it's like set up the same way as far as I'm aware, but I need to kind of verify that here. So gosh, time's flying by. It's like 12:38 now. Let me hop on over to the hazard room here and die on purpose. I didn't see any particles there, but I wasn't paying attention. Well, the particles are spawning correctly for the Time 2 player, so I think the Time 2 player is correctly configured and the Time 1 player is not, for whatever reason. So I just need to now figure out the configuration difference between these guys. Death feedback. I'll just copy that and then paste it here. Do that and then player visuals. I'm trying to find the Corgi Engine player thing. Oh, here it is. It's just need to collapse some of this, but let's see, health currently has the death feedback set wrong, so let me fix that. Structure will remain there after its death. Delay before destruction. Collision off on death. Gravity off on death. Points when destroyed. Respond to initial location. Started. Okay, that all seems correctly configured. Let me hop over to the Time 2 player and verify that. Yeah, looks about right. So, let me go back to the problematic scene here of Time 1 campaign level I think it was 13, and see if the particles work now. Because if they still don't, then it'll be a matter of maybe seeing fighting or something going on. Because yeah, it's okay, so it looks like the death particles are spawning, but they are probably spawning like they're spawning in a way where they're not visible, is what it looks like. Because if I have the game frozen here and I have the Death Electricity 2 effect selected here, you can see the selection outline, but it's not showing up in front of the background. So I think the problem, I think I figured out the problem. It's just the actual prefab of the death effect is not set to the right sorting layer, ultimately. So that's easy enough to fix. Now that I know what the problem actually is, I just need to change the renderer settings so that it's that it renders on the correct layer. Sort mode. I'm gonna go by depth. And actually, is there a rendering layer mask thing here? Is there a render layer? Because that's what I want to set. This problem actually first started showing up when I played around with the shaders on a couple things, trying to set up the DOF effect. So I think I know partly what's going on here. I need to change my zap and spark particle materials to use the Time 2 custom shader, essentially. Time 2 sprite unlit, although that might be a bit of a problem because the unlit sprite material doesn't support apparently the HDR thing. How do I make it do that? Color, let's see. Mode, HDR on the unlit sprite material. Thank you very much. And on sprite lit, I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to set the color mode to HDR mode, just for consistency's sake and making sure everything can work well. And then this needs to be a little bit brighter. This could use some brightness too. Alright. I hope that didn't mess too much of anything up. And then on these renderers, I'm gonna make sure that all of their sort modes are by depth. And that should fix the death particles not showing up here. Does not appear to have fixed anything. Let me just die a few more times quickly pause the game to kind of try to figure this out. Because it's definitely a depth problem. Because I can see it fine if I look at it from the back where nothing is occluding my view, basically. But as soon as one of my sprites is visible anywhere on the screen in the same position, then the particles aren't visible anymore. So it's definitely some kind of depth issue. I just can't figure out right away what that depth issue may be. Let's see, sort mode. By depth reverse, maybe? No. Hold on. Maybe if I edit the prefab live, maybe that can still work potentially. Like while I'm editing the game, I don't know if that'll work, but because I feel like the reason the depth particles aren't showing up is essentially just because the depth sorting is working incorrectly. I'm trying to figure out how to combat that problem. Maybe by distance instead of by depth. Let me try that. Because I noticed the fire particles, I don't think have the same problem on like those fire emitter things. But culling mode, no. Start color, no. It's gotta be in the renderer. Sort mode, I'll just set that to none maybe, and then distance from camera position, oldest particles front, depth. Distance from camera. I'll set those to depth then, based on that description, even though it didn't work initially. Choose whether to send custom particle data to the shader. I'll just check that box. It sounds useful. Although my shader doesn't actually use any of that, but maybe it does. Oh, sorting layer ID. This is what I want. I want it to be for these particles, probably time to LVL is the layer I want these to render, and then order and layer I'll just set to like 3 so that it renders on top of basically everything else. That'll probably fix it. And while I'm at it, I might as well apply that fix to some of my other particles where I haven't already. And actually it looks like I already did that on these other particles for the fire emitter, so that's why it worked on the fire emitter but not the death effect. It's because I simply forgot to do it on the death effect apparently. So now, if the problem was that, and I'm pretty sure it was, then when I die on these spikes, yay! The effect works now. Still need to make it look less like fireworks, but it definitely works now. So I might as well tinker around with making these look a little better. Just because right now, the thing that makes it look the most like fireworks is that there's no gravity on the sparks. They kind of don't look like they're falling, they just look like they're floating. So the spark, let's
It's like the delivery should be here pretty soon here.
Good.
I'm making some pretty good progress on this level.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe at the end of the stream or towards the end, you could maybe test it.
Yeah.
Might be a nice way of ending it, the stream or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Alright.
Just kind of playing around with the particles here, trying to make them look a little better.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, just for curiosity's sake, does the ancient city tile set have a ramp?
Yeah,
media?
there's a ramp palette that has a bunch of ramp presets in it, and you would just
Use one
select
of
the
those?
ancient city ramps from that.
Okay.
So,
Oh, they're right here. Okay, nice. Nice. I forgot that we actually have those made already. Nice.
yeah,
You did a good job with these tile sets.
Yeah.
By the way, Tony.
thanks.
Yeah.
Alright, I think I've figured out some of what I want to do with the sparks, but I might actually just copy some of the settings from the ignite sparks from the fire emitter, because those actually look a lot more like already what I want the death sparks to look like. So force over lifetime is -20, hold space, and it has trails. Alright, force over lifetime is just a constant, then -20 world space, and then there's trails. Mission count of 30, and then start speed 5, 3, start lifetime, I'll just increase to 1. You know what? I'm gonna actually just copy and paste the ignite particle as the death spark. Because it's already basically the exact effect I'm looking for. I just need to modify maybe a couple minor parts of the emission shape and stuff, but whoa, that doesn't look right. 0.4. All right, I think I've figured out the spark fireworks problem with the death effect. Now I just need to test it. Ironically, it looks even more like fireworks now. So, need to...
Happy early 4th of July.
Yeah, really. I think the problem is that it emits too evenly around the circle, so I need to.
Looks like it's delivered.
Yeah. Oh, cool! The food's here.
Dinner.
I wonder what's for dinner. There was a weird YTP I saw that was like only, like not even a half-minute long. It was probably only 5 seconds long or whatever, where the king kept saying lunch instead of dinner, and then Luigi was like, but what happened to dinner? And then the king just ate Luigi and said lunch again. And it just cut to black there, and that was the whole thing. And that was the whole YTP.
Maybe.
Both of the drinks are the same, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. So here's yours.
I just realized we probably could have done some of this on break, but
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
okay.
it's 12:57. We're taking a break in like only a couple minutes anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry guys, we're taking a break early.
Yep. That we are, and I'll see you in a little bit more than 12 minutes, even though the timer is going to indicate 12 minutes. 12:58, 59, 60. Yeah. 12, 34. 14 minutes. I'll see you all then. We'll see you all then. Whatever.
All right. See you guys.
Alright, everyone, we're back. We're still eating lunch, but we're back. So, during the intermission, I just ate a chicken sandwich, and I worked a little bit more on some of the particles and stuff for the player dying here. Was still working on that, and I think it looks really good now.
Yeah. I was talking about some inspiration we could potentially use.
Yeah.
For Time 2's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, even though we're not under NDA, I am writing the plot, so I don't really want to spoil any of it.
Yeah.
All I'll say is it has something to do with an ancient city. And that's all I'm gonna say. So, I feel more comfortable spoiling Time 1's entire campaign because it's not really related to the Time 2 story for the most part. But as for Time 2's campaign and story, we're gonna keep that under wraps for now. So, anyway, before I went off on that entire tangent because the death particles weren't showing up, I was just playing through all these to see if the DOF effect was working in the game, just generally. And it looked like it was, so just seeing how well it works in the levels in general. How do I make this maximized again? There we go. Oops. I have a thing in platformer games in general where I do really well until I die, and then I start dying a lot. It's my character flaw.
Oops, all particles. Which in this game is bad because that means you're dying a lot.
Yeah. Oh crap. Ah, dang it. It's one of the trickiest levels. There we go. Glad that's over. I hate that level.
Did Time 1 have these fire emitters?
Yeah, they just didn't look as anywhere near as good, but they were there.
Ah.
They were basically just a flame that just randomly showed up every once in a while. It didn't actually have an emitter, and even though I was the one that made the fire sprite, I didn't do as well on that version.
Ah.
So they were there, they just didn't look good.
That's probably why I forgot about them.
Yeah.
I do remember the zappers though.
Yeah.
Those were pretty memorable.
Yeah. Hey. Oh yeah. I'm just trying to remember the gameplay flow of this level because I couldn't remember if this gate door here was supposed to have a key or not, but it was actually this one down here that needed a key. Because we don't have the hacking console thing implemented in this version of the game yet. So I just kind of... We have a running joke where whenever I go next to one, I just say beep boop. and then pretend that that was the hacking sequence. So that opened this door, supposedly. And then... here.
Is the depth of field working in this room?
Technically, it should be, but the background layer isn't far enough away for it to come into effect, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I haven't even done an art pass on this one yet, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. The background's DLC.
Yeah.
Pay
Yeah, you have to
money if you want it to look good.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah, I haven't even done an art pass on that level up, and now Corgi engine is loading for some reason. So so I think I've played through all the Time 1 levels. They look good. A lot of them don't show the DOF effect that much, but that's just because the background isn't that far away on a lot of them. So I could probably intentionally move the background further away on them if I really wanted to emphasize that effect, but I'll make that decision at a later time, because right now I think it looks fine for the far background to be in focus, just through these little holes in the wall and stuff. It's mostly, I think, this level 8 is the main level I really wanted to get it working in because of all the cave layers. I just really wanted to emphasize the depth of those, and so I'm glad it's working now. Because that looks really good with the background being more blurred. I feel like in this level, actually, I could do with even more layers and like have them fade into maybe a lighter color, potentially, like kind of
the background.
Yeah, like a fog effect a little bit instead of just fading to the default black background. But in concept right now, it looks pretty good already. I just need to...
Yeah, a lot of these levels are still... I mean, even though they look very well finished, they are still kind of in the drafting stage, so...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm working on the art passes a little bit at a time, but definitely working towards something that isn't here yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I definitely... what the heck is this even connected to? It doesn't even look like it has a sprite. So I'll just get rid of that. Kind of weird that it wasn't active, but this is the one that I want. Kind of want to put it really far back, and then cancel. And then we'll just make this kind of like this, like that, and then the main camera, I think, is where I set up the level background color, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken, because I don't remember exactly how I set up the far back of these levels to be pure black. I know it was an actual setting I had to set up at one point, but I just can't remember it right off the bat. Actually gonna change it slightly, like a dark And then foreground is going to be just like that. And then for the foreground, I want it to start white, and then in the far foreground, kind of it's really dark blue. And then build all in scene. That should update stuff. What the heck? Zero, 3, 5, 17. So that should be a lot darker color than it is. I'm not really sure why it isn't doing that though. It has something to do with the way I have this set up, I think. Hold on, let me just tint it bright red for debug purposes here. Too far back. Oh. No. Let's see. Default, untagged. Sometimes it's hard to really come up with anything interesting to say when I'm trying to debug something, but oh, maximum Z coordinate, minimum Z coordinate. I see the problem potentially.
Especially since this takes a lot of
like the maximum Z coordinate is the problem, because now my maximum Z coordinate is 17 instead of what I originally set it up as. So I need to set this up accordingly, I think. Well, no, that isn't tinting the cave layer for some reason. Because this far back should be automatically tinting according to this parallax section script, but it's not doing that. And I'm not actually sure why. Granted, these parallax section scripts are just helpers to set up the visuals, and I can just do it manually anyway, but oh, and it could also be a matter of something else too, with the sprite renders being the wrong shader potentially, but to sprite, and then okay. My parallax section script just in general actually doesn't work the way I thought it did. So I need to edit that because it's only tinting this, I think, the objects I specifically define in the layers and not the child objects of those. So what is Unity doing? It's like
now loading screen.
yeah. Layer objects in. Okay. Public game object array. Layer objects in section, and then it currently iterates through the layer objects in section, and then tints them according to stuff that I haven't figured out, but for what am I using the I variable for? Let me check here. Oh, if this stops freezing at any rate. Come on. Come on, you slow computer. Come on. What is I used for? What is I used for? Tell me. Stop lagging around. Float layer value equals I divided by layer objects in section length. And it does that for each object in the layer objects in section thing. I see how I set this up and I see what my thought process originally was, but I think there's much better ways to handle what I'm doing here. Because what I originally envisioned this system as when I first coded it was that I would define in a list some very specific parallax layers, and then it would automatically color those based on the depth and stuff, but only those in that specific array. And on one hand, it's still a good system, but on the other hand, it doesn't account for any of the child objects and their individual depths. So I'm just kind of wondering if I even, if I do update this, how I'm going to redesign it so that it accounts for all of the child objects. And if I don't redesign this, I could just add the child objects manually to the array. And for this level, I might actually just do that. So let me just go ahead. If it's as easy as I think it will be, which apparently won't. So, because these are all also at different Z positions, I think. Wait, they aren't. What? I thought they... When did that happen? Why are they all at the same Z coordinate all of a sudden? Huh? They're listing their Z coordinate all the exact same in the transform component, but I can see with my own eyes that they're not at the same Z position. That's super weird. How can they be multiple depths and not multiple depths at the same time? That does not make any sense. Hold on. Global? Maybe I'm in the wrong coordinate space here. Oh. Never mind. It wasn't listing the Z coords because I only had one specific object locked to the inspector. So, 17, 5, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So near, further. Okay. Just mentally making note of kind of how some of this works. Alright, and this, now that I have that array set up correctly, maybe it'll tint those correctly? It should have, but it didn't. Oh. Would have helped if I had the Boolean set up to even use the tint gradient. I apparently didn't. Maximum Z coordinate is 17. Minimum Z is 0. Why is it acting so weird? Why are these so bright? Maybe I just need to do this. Yeah. It was a matter of this being weird. I think I need to desaturate that a lot. Then, huh? Oh, this one is. Oh, it's at 11 instead of 17. That's kind of the problem there. So. Well, I haven't actually made much headway here as far as what I was trying to do. So, I might actually just get rid of these parallax section manager things altogether and just manually tint the stuff that I was trying to tint before, since it's not really working the way I was intending.
Oh, using the Gaussian effect you were trying to do?
No, I
Or something
literally just like these background layers of the cave. I had a thing called a parallax section that was supposed to change this tint color automatically on them, but it wasn't working properly, and that's what I've been trying to debug here. It's kind of just to adjust things so that
so that they work.
yeah, so they work. I've completely lost my train of thought here, but maybe you have the gist of it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let me see how this looks now that I've manually tinted a lot of those. Because really the parallax section script that I was trying to figure out just now is kind of a legacy thing from earlier development stages where I had a completely different vision for how the game was going to look just in general. So,
What do you say? It's kind of dated.
yeah, it's kind of dated, and it would be better to just configure the parallax layers manually. In a lot of cases. Also, the lights are not glowing anymore, and I can't figure out why. Hold on. Did I mess something up when I was fiddling around with the... Great, now I have to hit undo a bunch until it starts glowing again. Because I definitely messed something up somewhere, and I don't even remember at all where it was, yeah, so... Yay, I've made 0 progress. Yeah, that's what I did that, and... Main camera was... And then that's where my troubles began with that duplication there, so maybe it works now. That I've undone, like, half of the stream worth of work here.
That's Unity for you.
Yeah. Yep, the lights are still not showing their bloom effect for some reason. I don't, even after I'm doing all that, and I don't know why. Well, might as well use the version control to undo this entire level. Undo changes of Tiny Level 8, please. Because it definitely messed something up somewhere. That's what version control is for! Because now the lights are glowing again. Yay! So now I'm going to delete these parallax sections again now that I somewhat know what I'm doing. And try to adjust these cave layers. Spritelet default. Is that... Hold on, is that what I messed up? Tiny glow, tiny lit. None. Tiny sprite. Tiny 2 sprite. Huh. It isn't a shader issue like I thought. Or not a post-processing shader interaction issue, rather. I don't even know what I'm doing at the moment, to be honest. But...
We're doing something.
Yeah. I guess all of that was a tangent off of a tangent off of a tangent, where I think I remember now that I was gonna try to add like a fake fog effect to this level. And that's what I was kind of initially moving towards, but then I forgot what I was doing. So let's see if I can tint this to kind of a dark blue color. And then some of these cave layer things, I'll just tint them to like to match that. One. Never mind, inverting the size isn't a good idea there, apparently. I do want to offset it, though. Bluish color. There we go. It's a couple steps closer to what I was intending, at least. I'm Definitely gonna need to apply some of my fake parallax, because it's pretty obvious that the cave isn't as deep as it looks. Because you can see the edges of the rocks a lot in the background there, but progress is progress, I guess. So I'm gonna actually group all these under a fake parallax, and then configure it in-game the way I want and stuff. And let me change this from play maximized to just play focused. And then for this fake parallax, I'm actually going to disable that. Because there's a very specific methodology I need to use to set this up. So, turn Sim Machine Brain off. And then the minimum is probably down here somewhere. Maybe a little more than that, and then get min positions. And then main camera, move up here somewhere. Let's get max positions. Then I'll copy the component. Enable that. These component values. 10 plus 1, 5 plus 1. So now fake parallax is set up on some of these cave layers, and it'll hopefully just look less like the cave. It's just cut off and fake now. Still looks pretty cut off and fake though, because I didn't do everything exactly the right way. In fact, I didn't do it at all, come to think of it, because I wasn't just meant to change the position of the camera. I also was supposed to change the position of the parallax effect itself. Oh, and also make sure it's enabled, first of all. So, let me try this again. Main camera, Sim Machine is turned off. I'll just move this up to like kind of up here, and then the fake parallax will move just like there at the very most. Get max positions, then main camera. down here. Hit parallax to move there. I guess. Get in. Copy component. Now. Alright, the upper cave layer should look correct now. They don't, and I am not sure why. I'm also getting a bunch of null reference exceptions in the console. Not sure what those are about, but it's related to serialization though, so it's kind of weird. Let's see if it keeps having those errors. Yeah.
What's that usually mean? It's
I don't even know. I feel like I need to do fake parallaxes on all of these cave layers instead of just a parent object, which is going to be a pain, but I'll take care of that another time. I'm kind of running out of ideas here, so on how to make this level look better. I had a vision in mind, but I kind of lost track of what I was doing, so
At least the good news here on my end is that I'm making some progress. So
yeah,
at least I think we can still
yeah,
go with my idea of testing this out once I'm almost done here.
yeah,
If that still works with you.
yeah, works great.
Yeah.
Because the stream really doesn't have much content on it. It's just me quietly mumbling to myself while I'm not making any progress. It's the world's most boring stream so far, so I'm just going to undo all my level 8 changes again, actually, because nothing I've done has actually contributed to this level, so...
Hold on. Let me just do one. Okay, whoops.
What?
So I was adding, like, I was doing the tile set stuff
Yeah.
in the editor, like using the tile palette.
Yeah.
And I was setting it to like background mid and far without realizing what that actually did. So now I have some like random truss plate beams that are floating in midair. Is what's going on. But I'll probably just delete them and worry about that later. Because I mean that's technically your job mostly anyways, is to add that stuff.
Yeah.
When you have a better understanding.
Yeah, because it's the system I put in place, so I
Yeah.
know how it works because I made it.
Yeah. I'll crud the the projectile's just going the wrong way. Okay, good. So it's almost finished here. Make sure this is going
Yeah.
the right way instead of the wrong way.
Yeah.
I might as well add a exit door too. I guess time 2 is also gonna have exit doors technically, right?
Yeah.
Or probably use that asset.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. Or at least some type of door if we don't end up using the one that's in. Because I'm imagining that the with the ancient city tile set that will probably have maybe a different type of door.
Yeah.
Potentially or a different
Yeah,
design for it.
probably.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Without spoiling too much, I mean.
Yeah.
I know we're trying not to spoil too much here, but
yeah.
there's also a question there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so objects.
Well, the good news is the stream is almost over anyway. So, like, a little more than 5 minutes until I wrap it up anyway, so.
Yeah. Just waiting on the grand finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have worked on this a little more, but half the stream I was trying to just order the dang food.
Yeah.
So. Oh crap, I have to, that should work. Okay, hold on, just gonna do a quick adjustment here. Okay. Alright, this is gonna have to work even though even though like there might be some weird background crap
Yeah.
in the middle of it, which yeah, hold on. Let me just actually try and scrub that out as much as I can really quick.
Yeah.
Now that I know what was causing that. It was because I didn't understand how the foreground and background works, so
Yeah, the like background near and foreground far are layers literally at like right at the same level as like the level layer, but foreground far is like in the foreground and background near is in the background, and then mid and far backgrounds are like further and further back,
yeah.
if that makes sense. So what you did was you put some stuff on like the mid and far background, and it's just the parallax effect causing them to look like they're floating.
Right.
So
And I noticed that you made it so they're also tinted, which is pretty nice too, like automatically.
yeah,
It's a really cool touch.
yeah, that's those parallax section scripts doing that, I think.
Well, at least it's good to know that they do something good.
Yeah.
At
Yep.
least in that aspect.
Yeah.
I know obviously not everything they do is good, but at least that part's
Yeah.
working good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm about to push the changes. Sorry if this ends up being a little later stream because of it, but
Right.
attempt to fix it. Yeah. Just wait, let me see. I'm gonna make a quick adjustment. This is different. Oh, I'll probably change that after this, or after I check in. So anyway, further ado.
You almost ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, let me.
I'm surprised it didn't ask me to update the workspace.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't check in anything.
Right.
Oh, I see.
All right. So what scene was that?
Oh yeah, it's West tests time to level 1.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they're all. It's obviously not. It's still unfinished, so just
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Of course.
Yeah.
This whole game's unfinished right now.
Yeah.
A lot of good verticality in this.
Yeah.
Crap. I didn't think there were spikes down there.
Yeah.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, this is probably the trickiest
Yeah.
part, but you got
There
it.
we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thankfully, we're pretty generous with the checkpoints here, so.
Yeah. Nice.
There we go.
Yep. Now I'm doing it backwards. Oh well.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe having it just go down the whole tower at some point, or this whole level.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go up and then go down the whole thing.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have you go up and bring a bunch of boxes and just have you like go back and forth. Oh yeah, there's the wide laser.
Yeah.
That I was messing with earlier.
Yeah.
Clearly a test level in progress, but
Yeah.
pretty good so far, I think.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, 1 minute until we would quit the stream anyway, so I'm just gonna end it here, since the stream was pretty boring overall. I'd say.
Aside from the last 5 minutes. Or
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, aside from the last minute.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope y'all will be here for the next stream, even though this one was crap. But yeah, I do this every Tuesday. Next week I'll either do development more or I'll just do my usual art stuff. But until then, I'll see you around. Bye.